Hi everybody, Sharon here. Welcome back to my garden. So it is another steaming Saturday here in Southeastern Wisconsin Zone 5A. We had a really nice week with temps in the low 80s and dew points in the 50s, but as soon as the weekend rolls around and I need to get stuff done, it gets steamy. Today we're going to be looking at my peppers and my squash. Some of the peppers are ready to be picked, and I need to thin out the squash leaves and spray for powdery mildew. So I will see you right back here in 20 seconds. Here in the peppers, we've got a few that are ready to be picked. There's some banana peppers. And some jalapenos. Now peppers are kind of like beans in that they like to be picked. If they have fruit on the plant, they put a lot of energy into the fruit and then they don't flower. Beans are the same way. If you want your beans to get another set, go ahead and pick all the beans, and then they will go ahead and do another flowering and do a whole nother set of fruit. However, some of these are not the right color. Like I'm supposed to have some yellow ones and I'm supposed to have some orange ones, and then with the jalapenos, I don't know which color jalapenos these are, but it doesn't really matter because you can eat a pepper at just about any size. I'm going to do a picking of the peppers and see what we end up with. Now because I am growing peppers that I'm not used to the names. I have a pepper cheat sheet and I've written down the different types of peppers that I have. And that helps me remind me what their properties are, what color they're supposed to be, if they're hot, if they're not hot. And so we're just going to kind of go through here and pick a few of these. First up are these. These are Felicity. This brown one and this one. Now, if you remember the beginning of the year, I topped one pepper and I didn't top the other one. The plant on the left is the one that I topped, and the plant on the right is the one that I did not. I'm going to try to do this without shaking the camera too much, but this is the pepper plant that was topped. And you can see there's quite a bit of fruit on there, a lot bushier plant, but it is the exact same height. Here's the topped one here, and here's the non-topped one. Exact same height. So they do catch up. This is the non-topped pepper. Again, quite a bit of fruit, and this may be just a property of the plant itself. It looks like there's more fruit on the topped one than on the untopped one. Again, these are no heat jalapeno. Really nice size. So I wanted to show you these peppers. These are regular jalapenos. They're not hybrids. They've got almost no fruit on them. There's a few much smaller. See the size difference? Here. Look at the size difference. So we'll see. Right next to them is a habanada. It's got flowers on it, no fruit. Absolutely no fruit. Right next to them are these called Suave Orange. They're supposed to be a mild heat habanero. I have one pepper on here. They just do not look like a happy plant. These peppers here are called Aura. They're supposed to be yellow. Let's see if I can pop this one off. There we go. Like a yellow Italian frying pepper. This has quite a few fruit on it. So I'm just waiting for them to turn yellow. And we're talking, let me go to the other side. Here is the other side of the glow peppers. I mean, they are just all clustered in here. I don't know if you can see how many are in there. Again, here as well. This one is the topped one. This one is the non-topped one. Now on this plant, the non-topped pepper is outperforming the topped one. Right next to it is its sister plant, Aura. Again, these are looking really good. But its counterpart right next to it has no peppers on it. Absolutely no peppers. And this is the topped one. This is the non-topped one. So this Aura and Glow look like they do better if you don't top them off. Right next to that is California Wonder. There's one pepper there. And this one has a pepper too. It's like stuck. I'm gonna pull this out of here. But all in all, I'm very disappointed in this California Wonder. I know it is a lot of people's favorite, but it's just not producing any peppers. Right next to that is a pepper called Intruder. Nice big plant, but it's got no peppers on it. I mean, these little ones here. At least it has more than the California Wonder. So what I'm doing, what I'm thinking of doing is going out and getting a fertilizer that where, you know, the NPK numbers, where those the P number is higher, because that will promote flower growth, which will promote fruiting. So I'm going to go and do that and give these pepper plants a dose of that. Right next to that is this Escamillo pepper. Nice size pepper. There's a couple peppers on here, but that's it. And then the banana peppers are doing very well. Not topped, topped. This one is topped, this one is not topped. Doesn't seem to make a difference. They're both exactly the same height. I could probably let these banana peppers go a little bit. but I'm gonna take a few off. Weed. They sure are a pretty pepper. This is my next project. If you look in here, you can see that the first signs of powdery mildew are showing up. Right on schedule. So I'm gonna come in here. This is my jester squash plant. I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna trim out some of these leaves, and then I'm going to spray it with a not hydrogen peroxide, a baking soda spray. Here is the after. So you can see I took quite a bit of foliage out just to try to get some air in there. And these fruits here are almost looking ripe. They are really close to being ripe, but they're not. We'll wait for the stems to start turning brown before we pick them. And there were a couple of runners in here that were going out. I cut those off because I've already got a really nice harvest that I'm gonna get. And I did leave, there's one here on the ground. I did leave that one. I'll let that one go. So now I'm gonna get in here and spray these. I forgot to show you, here is all the foliage that I pulled off that squash plant. So in my little sprayer here, I've got a tablespoon of baking soda. I put a couple drops of dish soap, like an unscented dish soap, and my recipe calls for vegetable oil, but instead I put a little bit of neem oil in there. About a teaspoon of neem oil. And this is a 1 liter bottle. I get asked a lot of questions where I got this. I've had it for like 10 years and I really don't remember where I got it. So, but it is a nice little sprayer. Let's go spray. And I just like to get the tops. And it's about 9 o'clock in the morning. So you don't want to do this in the middle of the day. But by the time the sun really gets strong, this will be dry. And you want to get underneath. Especially down here. There we go. As long as I'm spraying for powdery mildew, I'm going to spray my zucchini plants. Because they are just, they are just starting to show signs of powdery mildew. See these leaves down here that are dead? Go ahead and take those off. Now see this pattern here? This is not powdery mildew. This is how the leaves are. But it's getting sprayed anyway. You see this? Jillions of these Japanese beetles on here. And I sprayed this last week, so it looks like I'm gonna have to spray again. And they just love those morning glories. A little bit of the beans. I am so tempted to pull all these beans out. Now the Japanese beetles don't seem to bother the bush beans, but they sure do like the pole beans. And I am so tempted to pull all these out. I was just walking by my potatoes and I noticed they're flowering. This is really late for them to be flowering. And another one. These are the white potatoes. Plants still look good. I mean, they're starting to get a little beat up, but they still look good. Let me show you what I've picked so far today. In here are the peppers that I picked. The Felicity, Aura, banana peppers, and a green bell. And I picked a few tomatoes and I label them so I know what they are. So this is a country taste. This one is called Damsel. It's a pink tomato. This is Defiant. This is another Damsel. A little smaller than the other one. Again, a pink tomato. And this is Defiant. So Defiant is a small 4 to 6 ounce tomato. They're like the perfect size. I've been eating these on my bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwiches, and they are the perfect size. Like one of these is perfect for a sandwich. Cut it in 4 slices, put it in the 4 corners, and it's perfect. You use up the whole thing. So that's what I picked there. I also picked some cucumbers. These ones are getting weird. These are the Isnik cucumbers. You can tell they're starting to get old because the fruits are really starting to kind of get odd shaped. In the beginning they were all like perfect. There's another one that got much bigger. I've been having this in my cucumbers this year. It's the first year I've ever had that marking. I don't know what causes it. By the pattern, I don't know if it's cracking and healing or if it's some kind of like minor leaf borer, but it's not a leaf, so I don't know. This is a Japanese long cucumber. This one's a little weird shape too. And then this is the Summer Dance. These were the stars of the garden this year. I think next year I'm going to grow 2 cucumbers. I'm going to grow Summer Dance and these Japanese long cucumbers. And that's all I'm really going to need. And then I picked some of these yard-long beans. I have a few more to pick. Then those will be picked for the week. You can see they're kind of like big up here and really thin down here. I'm not real thrilled with these. And they taste fine. They taste like beans. But I'm not real thrilled with their production or how they grow. As you can see, I've got quite a few tomatoes that are ripening on the vine. We are very close to a taste test, my friends. Very close. This particular one, what is this? Martha Washington. Very blighty. I don't know. Like none of them are turning colors. So maybe they're just late bloomers. And the plum tomatoes are not turning yet as well. I have also picked a nice basket of cherry tomatoes. So that'll be really good. How about a little mini tomato taste test? These 2 varieties, this is Sun Gold and the red one is Jasper. Thought I would taste them for you. Let's do Sun Gold because we know what Sun Gold tastes like. Sun Gold is very sweet. The skins are noticeable. I always call them tomato candy because they are literally sweet tomato flavor. They do split. We haven't had rain here in a while, and they're splitting just from my watering. They're the only ones that are splitting too. Jasper hybrid. Really thick skins. It's like the epitome of tomato flavor. Sweet, but not too sweet. Not too acidic. Not acidic at all, actually. They're so good. Both those are really good. I think I'm going to go inside and make some bruschetta. I think they would both be really good in bruschetta. So, I think the tomato taste test is going to be done in 2 parts this year. One taste test is going to be my tomatoes, and then I've got a friend who's also growing tomatoes, and I asked him if he would give me one of each at some point, and he said, of course. And so I'm going to do a taste test of his tomatoes too, so that should be a lot of fun. In this little tray, I have my second round of tomatoes. I've got about 75 days before our first frost from when I planted these, and all these tomatoes are 50 to 60 day tomatoes. So we'll see if they make it. I actually have some brandy wines in here. They probably, I don't know, it didn't matter. I just needed to fill up the space. So we'll see what happens. But the early girls here, which hasn't come up yet, the golden girls, those will most likely, I will be able to get a harvest out of those. Another thing I wanted to show you, this is the area where I ripped out the peas, and then I had some extra cantaloupe plants, and I pulled them along and then put them up on here. And ever since I did that, we are getting fruit galore. And most of the reason is because they're getting more sun now. But these are called top mark cantaloupe, and these plants are just loaded with little fruits. We'll see. I mean, they're not all going to make it, but we'll see what happens. I know that some of them, like these ones, will make it. That one and that one. I think that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed spending the day with me and cleaning up the squash and picking some peppers, along with a couple other things. I always get distracted. It's just the way it is. It's just the way I am. So thank you so much for watching this episode of Sharon's Home and Garden. If you like what you saw here, don't forget to click on that subscribe button or give me a thumbs up. And until next time, happy gardening, everybody. Bye-bye.